Alright guys, if you're watching this video, it's obvious that I have made a YouTube channel. You probably know me if you're watching this, but in the off chance you don't, my name's Brandon, I'm 23 years old, I live in Utah, and I work on cars. Specifically Chevy cars, GM more generally, but I like to do LS stuff, and that's pretty much it. It's what I'm familiar with, it's what I enjoy, it's what I'm good at, so it's what I do. Anyway, um, so why YouTube, right? And the answer to that question is because I feel like it. Tony Robbins once said, if your life is worth living, it's worth recording. So here we are, I'm recording it. When he said that, I think he was more referring to like keeping a journal, but I feel like a video journal is just as good. Um, Doing custom work is what I've decided to do for my career, and I thought it'd be fun to maybe keep a little video journal and be able to look back on it one day and, kind of remember everything and just have something fun to do. So here we are. I'm also hoping that maybe it can help me expand and meet new people, get new projects. Who knows? Nothing really there I'm intending on coming from YouTube, but who knows? Who knows how any of this is going to go? Really, I'm just kind of sending it. I think it'd be something fun to do. And like I said, I want to be able to look back at everything I've done and remember the ride. So here we are. That's kind of my reason for doing YouTube. Um, anyway, like I said, I work on cars, mostly custom work, LS stuff. I like doing engine builds, basic fabrication. I do a lot of electrical stuff, wiring harnesses, anything really that you need to do an engine swap or an engine build, repairs, whatever. If it's related to an LS, I'm happy to tackle the project. And that's kind of what this channel is going to be about more than anything, I think, is just showing you guys what I'm up to. Um, you know, I do a lot of stuff on my own personal vehicles, my friends' stuff, and a lot of it's customer stuff. Like I said, this is something that I plan on doing as a career. So a lot of my work is customer work. Um, so maybe my customers whose cars are in my possession can watch these videos and kind of see where the shop is at, what we're doing, and yeah, who knows? Just something that you can tune into and see how the progress is going, if you want. Anyways, um, I'm trying to keep this video short because this is the first video I've ever made, and I don't feel like I'm gonna be that good at it, so we'll ease into it and just start short at the beginning. But anyway, I just wanted to give a little more background about myself, but I've always liked cars since as long as I can remember. I grew up watching Hot Wheels, playing with Hot Wheels. I always liked cars. Corvettes were my favorite, funny enough. Um, but yeah, when I was 16, I was looking for, well, I guess when I was 15, I was looking for a car that I could drive. I was about to get my license, and I was looking at everything: Mustangs, Subarus, 350s, just anything that I thought would be fun and cool and fast, whatever. And I kind of had my heart set on getting a Mustang, and I thought that would be cool, whatever. And I told my cousin about it, and he might remember this, he might not, but I was like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna try and get a Mustang. And he looks at me and goes, a Mustang? Why would you want a Mustang? Like, it's a good question. I don't know. They're fast, I think, right? And he goes, you should get a Camaro. I'm like, a Camaro? Huh. They're, I haven't really looked at them, but, whatever you say, he's a lot older than me. I looked up to him. So, anyway, later that day, I went and started looking online at Camaros, right, for sale. And I found one. It was a red 1995 Z28 Camaro. It was a stick shift, 6 speed, had a V8. It looked awesome. And guy wanted like 2 grand for it. So, not bad for a first car. Anyway, somehow we made it happen. And I ended up getting this car. And, I fell in love with it. It was super fun, super, what I thought at the time, fast. Um, it was an awesome first car. I loved it. So I got that when I was 15, and sold my dirt bike to get it. And I drove that around for a couple of years. And as I got older, the effects of the car kind of started to wear off. At first I was like, this thing is fast, this thing is awesome. And by the end of the time I had the car, I still thought it was awesome, but I wanted a little more. And I wasn't really experienced with working on cars or anything. But I started doing a lot of research on, okay, how can I make this thing faster? How can I get a little bit more? And after weeks or months of watching YouTube videos, reading forums, Google searches, any source of information I could find on how to make this thing faster, it came to my attention that my car was not equipped with something called an LS engine, which was way better than what I had. I didn't know that when I bought the car. I had no idea what it was, but I kind of slowly started to learn about it, and everything that I read on the internet and forums and everything that people told me that I would talk to, it just kind of made me think, okay, well, maybe I need an LS, right? So I looked into, okay, how do we put an LS into my car, into this Camaro that I've already got? And obviously, being 17 and having no real mechanical experience, way over my head, I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I should just try and find a car that's already got one, right? So I start looking at them, and I go, dang, these things are expensive, a lot more than my $2,000 Camaro, right? So I needed a way to make money to pay for a better car. And at the same time, I wanted to learn about cars, and I wanted to get better at wrenching, and I wanted to work on my own stuff and go that route. And anyway, you might be asking, why not just go get a job? The answer is, I don't know. I like being able to, make my own rules, make my own schedule, kind of a do it my way kind of mentality. So a job necessarily wasn't what I was interested in, but what I figured I'd do is I could buy cheap broken cars and fix them and sell them for a profit, right? So that's what I did for a while. Lots of Honda Civics, Accords, Camrys, Maximas, whatever, just cheap little economy cars that I could get for a reasonable price, put minimal amounts of work into them, sell them, make some money, and move on to the next, right? So anyway, that's how I was gonna fund this next car, which is exactly what I did. And funny enough, I liked the Camaro so much, naturally I started looking for Camaros for my next car. I'm like, wow, these things are really expensive. And I don't know if he remembers this, but my same cousin that was like, get a Camaro in the first place, I talked to him about it. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know if I can afford these things. They're all too expensive, and at the time I was looking at a 5th gen Camaro and SS, and they were anywhere from like 15 to 20 grand. And, being a junior in high school, that was just too much, right? Couldn't do it. Anyway, I told my cousin kind of my dilemma, and he's like, well, what about a CTSV? Have you looked at those? And I was like, what's that? I still didn't really know a whole lot. And he's like, oh, they're awesome. They've got LS engines in them. They're fast. You can get stick shift. You should look at them. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I looked at them, and sure enough, first gen CTSVs. I'm like, wow, these things are 10 grand. That's way better than the 15 or 20 that I was looking at for Camaros. And so anyway, I went out and I was looking at CTSVs, first gen. They all were stick shift, looked awesome. And anyway, I found one online. It was in Los Angeles, and they wanted like $9,500 for it. And I had my heart set on it. I told my dad, I was like, yo, come with me to Los Angeles. I want to go get a new car. He's like, all right, cool. So we drove down there, made it happen, picked up the car, drove it back, and yeah, kind of all went downhill from there. Ever since then, I've been, working on it, and I mean, I still have the car, haven't driven it in a long time. We'll get to that later. But, ever since then, it's just been working on LS stuff and learning more and more and more ever since then, which would have been 2017, and we're now 2023, so 6 years later. I like to think I've come a long way. Um, I've come a long enough way to decide that this is what I want to do, and I've actually been self-employed now, doing this for about a year. Before that, I spent some time at a Chevrolet dealership as a technician. Before that, I spent some time at the Davis Tech College learning, mechanics. So, but yeah, after working at Chevrolet for a while, I decided that once again, having a job just really isn't for me. I didn't dislike the work at all. I didn't dislike my coworkers. There wasn't any real problem with it other than I couldn't do it my way. It just put a lot of stress on me to try and do it someone else's way, and having to work on projects that I wasn't super excited about. So I decided that, you know what, I'm young enough to the point where I can try going out on my own, try starting my own business and see where it goes. If it fails and I face plant, then I'm young enough to the point where I can go back and get a job again and go from there. But yeah, so we're not a week, sorry, my bad. We're a year into being self-employed, just about a year and a month, and it's going great. I'm loving it. I've got more work than I can even fathom. It's just, there's so much more work than I could have even imagined I'd have when I first set out to do this on my own, which I'm very grateful for. At this point in, my career and the business, the thing to figure out is just how can I capitalize on all of this work, being a pretty small operation. As you can see, we're in a garage at a house. So not a whole lot of space, but we're trying to make do with what we've got, and hopefully soon we can move into a bigger garage, a real shop, and yeah, that's kind of the next step, my next goal. And anyway, I'm just making this video to kind of, I guess, get going in the YouTube side of it. So I'm not going to ask anyone to follow along with my videos. I'm not going to try and market it a whole lot. This is more for me and me wanting to be able to look back at what I've done and just have kind of like a little video journal to keep track of everything and kind of have some fun with that. So anyone who is interested in seeing what we're up to, you're more than welcome to follow along with the videos and see where we're at. Or if you're a customer and I have your car, you're probably going to want to know where all the time is being spent, what we're doing and such. So I invite you to watch these videos if you're interested in what we're doing. I would like to upload videos on a weekly basis, but who knows? I have no idea how to edit videos. So we're probably going to figure that out at some point. Yeah, no idea how to edit. So I'd like to get videos weekly, if not, consistent enough to the point where I can keep track of what I'm doing and have a reasonable little video journal. Who knows? Might be every day, might be every week, it might be every other week. I don't know. I'm just winging it right here with the filming thing, and we'll see where it takes us. But yeah, if you've made it the whole 13 minutes of this video, then maybe you'll watch the next one that I make. Can't tell you when it'll be, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it for now, and maybe we'll see you next time.